You really need to talk to the folks here at Next Level. I've got to tell you, just speaking to the people here, they are fired up, they get it, they've got the right balance, and they're all increasing their income, they're increasing their production.
But you're dealing with people that are in the trenches dealing with this, are practitioners, had failures, had successes, learned from it, and it's about helping you not just like get through the next month, but it's about creating legacy business for yourself.
But I can tell you that you are mission focused. I know you're purpose focused, and I can tell you that every loan officer that I've communicated with that's been part of your platform has been a raving fan.
This is the Next Level Loan Officers Podcast, a proud founding member of the Real Disrupt Podcast Collaborative. You can check out more awesome podcasts at realdisrupt.com. And now, Kenneth Travis and Sean Zalmanoff.
What's up, everybody? Sean Zalmanoff here with the man, Jason Frazier, on this edition of our Next Level Loan Officers Podcast. Jason, how are you today?
Sean, I am awesome. If I was any better, I'd be you.
Well, that's kind. Hey, friends, like if you're getting value out of these podcasts, do me a favor, do Jason a favor, do Kenneth, do Shane, do Kellen a favor. Hey, if you're listening to this on Spotify or Google or Apple iTunes or some other amazing podcast forum, go give us a 5-star review and leave a nice little comment about what we are doing for your business. And also, don't forget to mention how much better I am than Kenneth. Always, you get bonus points for that. Jason.
Yes.
You, as always, for joining us, and it's good to see you, man. You're wearing that 75 hard shirt.
Yeah. So we talked a little bit about this on our last podcast together. One of the things that that Next Level talks about is not just the complete package, right? Fitness, mind, body, the whole thing, just getting everything on a healthy path. And part of that was a catalyst for me to finally get something going. But, 75 hard was a program that I've seen a few people do. I think KT's done it twice, maybe, I think, when I was talking to him.
She's only done it once.
She's only done it once. But it's something that I just like, and looking at the stats, and so Andy Frisella is the one that developed this program.
He's actually a St. Louis guy. Do you know that? Yeah,
he's a St. Louis guy. I was thinking about that actually after the last episode. And he says, he's all, look, from all the messages and the things that I see, he said about 99.3% of the people that try it quit within the first 15 days. And he's all most people fail within the first 3 days. I'm on day 33 today, is day 33 of me. And I feel great. It's awesome. It's probably been one of the best things, most challenging things that I've ever done in regards to this. But it's been great. It's definitely, it's a mental toughness program. People want to put it into the fitness level. Yes, fitness is a huge part of it, but really it's about having the mindset to be able to turn on and off, to shut out the voices that tell you to not do things because it's the easier path, because you want to be lazy or you don't want to wake up, you don't want to work out. It's always easy not to do something. It's very incredibly hard to do something all the time for 75 days straight. So that's why I started it, to get healthy. I've lost about 30 pounds so far. I feel great.
30 pounds in 32 days.
Yeah. It's been great. It's been absolutely great. Most of it's affected my work. It's affected my home life in a positive way. It's affected everything. It's given me more clarity. And I know once I finish, I'm going to be transformed to a different mindset. And that's really what I was looking for, because, honestly, like with everything going on, it's easy to get down on yourself. It's easy to not look at the positive stuff. But this just kind of, and I want to keep this little, PG, but it basically stops you from all the BS that you tell yourself or the other BS that you listen from other people, and get out of your own head and just focus on something, commit, execute, and finish. And I'm telling you, like I haven't felt this good in a decade.
So, and you were talking before, I mean, like you were an elite athlete.
Yeah, well, I wouldn't know if I was elite. I started, if that counts. I started on my basketball team. I was varsity letterman. I played sports my entire up and through high school, and even in junior college. I didn't make the team, but I played and practiced with the team. But I played sports, soccer, baseball, Basketball was my sport. It was the one that I was best at. I pitched also when I played baseball, soccer, and I was pretty decent for my size and for what I did. I was pretty good. But I after that got completely out of it. I had a kid when I was 20, so that kind of went downhill from there. It's just as many excuses as I could say.
Yeah.
I just lost my way, and I'm trying to get back. And it's funny when you start cutting out, like, for example, I'm a huge soda guy. All the day, every day I could just drink soda. I would never even drink any water, would just drink soda. And I'm telling you, like, I've cut out soda, and the withdrawal that you go through just made me see that, like, man, the crap that they put in that stuff isn't good if I felt that crap. And now I just feel amazing and excited, just super excited.
Well, I mean, they used to put cocaine in Coca-Cola 100 years ago. So, like, they had to put something else in there to make us addicted to it. And, they found sugar.
Yeah, they did. That they did. But no, I feel great, and and not only that, but what's really been the best part of this whole thing, Sean, is just the supporting messages. You've been very supportive, KT, Shane, sending me messages when I post on my stories. But even better than that are the people. And I just got a message this morning saying, "Hey, you've inspired me to do 75 hard. I've been watching your story. He's totally inspired, and I could see the difference in you since you started to today." I want to get done, and I actually started a mortgage and real estate focused 75 hard group, and we have about 23 people in there now that have all started because of watching me doing this, including Andrew Berman of National Mortgage Professional magazine. So it's
awesome.
It's just awesome. It's awesome to see, and that's what I like. I like it if I could inspire someone, and I think I'm proof, right? It's not like I was like super fit and then like I'm just getting fitter. It's like, look, Magic Mike wasn't casting me in their next movie, so like I'm trying to get to not be as Jabba the Huttish as I was. So
you're saying you're feeling better. So man, so tell me, how are the workouts like 32 days in versus day 2, day 3? Because day 1's not hard. Then all of a sudden the muscles start to get sore and fatigued when you haven't been using them to the extent in a while. So like, how much better are you feeling in that aspect right now when you're doing your workouts?
Yeah. So, I mean, to be honest with you guys, like I was getting, I'd walk because the way that our house is, we have basically like 3 levels. Uh-huh. And so if I'm in the basement and I was like, oh, I got to go up to our master bedroom, which is on the third or our second floor, technically. Yeah. Like, I'm like, man, that's, I'm lazy. So I didn't want to go do it. But when I did it and I got up to the top, I'm like, and I'm literally like out of breath. And I'm thinking, this is ridiculous. Like I used to run miles every day. Like this is just ridiculous. So from that standpoint, like even though I'm not there yet fitness wise, like I know I could tell like stuff that used to be difficult or things that I would do that I would feel fatigued or out of breath doesn't happen anymore. Now that my muscles are starting to get back into of lifting and lifting weights and doing all that stuff, walking, cardio. Now that my body's starting to really get used to it, it's not as bad. But I'll tell you guys, like, look, when you work out for 45 minutes, 2 times a day for 70, well, I'm at 33 days straight now. Like you're going to get tired. Like yesterday I was freaking exhausted. But in a good way. That's the thing is that people will only get this for those that know what that good workout pain feels like, right? Like when you went out and played pickup basketball for like 4 hours and it feels great. And then you're walking back to your car and you're like, oh my God, like I'm not even gonna be able to walk tomorrow, but it's that good feeling because you know that you were active and you were doing stuff. And so even though there's a lot of pain and I tried it. So the one thing I do is I've made a deal with myself not to take Advil except once a week. Right. And so I already have, and look, like I said, I've played sport. I've dislocated basically every one of my fingers playing basketball. I've separated my shoulder, hyperextended knee. So I have a hurt body anyway. And then the weight, of course, that helps all of that. Right. So like, so I have bad shoulders and whatnot. So I try to take an Advil at least once a week to try to help with the pain that I have and the soreness. But I worked out this morning. I get up at 4:45. Get to the gym, hopefully by, just because I get to get my mind right, drink my water. So I'm usually at the gym by like 5:15 to 5:25-ish, get my reps in and all other stuff. And I feel great, but it starts to set in and it's just the fatigue really. It's tired because there is no breaks. There are no days off. There is no cheat day. There is no rest day. There is all of that. But I'll tell you, day like 7 to like day 12 were incredibly hard. But now, like the workout I just did this morning, I would be feeling it until like tomorrow night. And now I feel I was sore from maybe up until about 2 hours ago, but it's definitely helped.
It's funny. I've heard Andy talk about it, and he's like, man, why don't you get a day off? Your body needs rest. And he was like, well, I would have called it something besides 75 hard if it wasn't going to be like really incredibly hard for people to do.
75 easy.
Yeah. So I have 2 more questions on it for you. I haven't done it, and frankly, I have no desire. But of my buddies who have done it, one of the things that everybody's talked about is like do the 10 minutes of 10 pages of reading every day. I don't know. I mean, I know you're a huge consumer of information. I don't know how big of a reader you were before that. How has that been working for you, or changed, or what have you gotten out of it?
Yeah, so actually it's been I read every day anyway, so that wasn't a big deal for me.
Okay.
And I have I have my in fact the book I've been reading is the 75 hard book, and then I have my Kindle, right? So and I got books, you could tell, like all those books, and they're not just for show. I actually do read books, where a lot of people will just, hey, I got books back there, but I read differently though. That's the thing is. This kind of the way that I read is I'm a all over the place reader. Like I look at the table of contents, look at stuff that interests me. I don't care about the introduction. I don't care about the preface. I don't care about the author. I don't care. Not that, I don't know. That's probably not the best thing to say.
I just but I just don't have time to consume.
Yeah. It's just not going to do anything for me. So I go right into the places that I want to see, and I skip around in books. Right. But this is more of like, read something from beginning to end. The cool thing is that I'm just blowing through books because you got to read 10 pages a day. A lot of the books that I have, they're not super long, they're pretty short, maybe like 200 some pages. But with the Kindle, I'm going through. Plus, I don't stop at 10. That's another thing. It's like I read the 10 pages, but more than likely I'm probably going to read a couple chapters, right? And like this morning, I read probably 30 pages. So now, with that being said, I didn't read every day. Right? Like I would read blogs, I'd listen to podcasts, whatever, but I didn't read every single day. And so now that I'm in that habit of reading every single day, the offshoot of this is that when I'm done, I know that I'm still going to be in that habit of reading at least 10 pages every day. And I'm thinking, man, I could just blast through books, because I'm not a fast reader. And that's another thing is I'm not a slow reader, but I know people that will like, oh yeah, I read, 100 and some pages today. I'm like, holy crap, like 30 is like my limit before I start going cross-eyed and my ADD kicks in and I need to go do cartwheels or something.
So my last 75 hard question. Tell me about your kids' reaction and what they're seeing, or are they paying attention?
My son, he just turned 4, so he doesn't really care. But like my daughter, she's asking questions. She notices it. Like she notices that I'm changing. She notices that I'm working out twice a day. She's like, Daddy, why are you always gone? Well, I do it early in the morning, so she doesn't see. She's usually still asleep by the time I get back home. But in the evening, and like last night was kind of a hard one because I had to work. Like I couldn't go to the gym yesterday. I had to work like business work. So I did that starting at 5, and I didn't get a chance to do my first workout until like almost like 1:30. And she's like, well, since I'm working at home, she's like, can you play a game of Uno with me? And I said, I got to work out. And then I had to get my nighttime in because I didn't want to get it too late. And I wanted to get back before my kids went to bed. And she's like, can you play Uno with me again? And then that's when we had a discussion about why I was working out, what I was doing. My wife has noticed the difference, right? She, the other day, she's like, man, you've really thinned out. A lot, and she's known me. So I've been big since she's known me, or big-ish, right? Maybe not 300 pounds, but like in the 260s, 270s range. And I'm down to my weigh-ins are on Monday, but I was on this Monday, I was 272, down from 300. And she was like, man, she's like, I could see it in your face. You're thinning out. The energy that I have is more, and this is hard for me to say because I'm going to come off as kind of like a jerk, but I'm built to work. Like I have, and I could say I have a tremendous work ethic, which I think I do, but it's like working is something like some people like, I love watching Netflix, or I love movies, or I love doing this or that. I love to work. I do. I really do. It's part of who I am. And so when people say, well, work isn't who you are, and for me, it kind of is. I'm just built that way. I'm not saying it's right or wrong, but this has taught me to really put a premium on understanding the things that are important, which is spending time with my kids and knowing about that and having these battles in my head of, do you really need to do that? Or, because to me, like if something is left undone and I could do it, like it just bugs the crap out of me. So I have to, so I'm like, is it going to change if I do this at 9
Maybe I
o'clock
should
tomorrow
play
morning?
Uno. Maybe I should play Uno.
Yeah. So maybe I should play Uno, right? So doing that's changed. My wife's seen the difference in me in the energy level. I'll tell you, my energy level is through the roof as far as the way it was before. I was tired all the time, waking up, not feeling rested. And so it's different. It's not 100% done, but I feel as I compare when I first started this compared to the way I feel today as of right now, it's night and day. And that's why it's why I'm so excited and passionate about talking about it, because if anyone is in that funk or like me or whatever happened, depression or anything like that, and you've tried different things and it's not working, try this, right? Like, even if you don't complete it, I think you'll find some stuff out about yourself, or at least put you in a right mental state. It's definitely, and a lot of people say, oh, you're, no. It really has changed my life. It really has.
Well, I think it's really important. Like I've taken my physical fitness to a different level over the last 3 or 4 years. Fortunately been blessed with some good DNA, but like I've been pretty damn physically fit for a few years now. And like when I'm traveling on the road and I get to bed late, and when we could travel, and I'd still wake up early and work out, and people be like, I don't understand why you're doing that. Like, aren't you just making yourself more tired? I'm like, no, I get better rest. And I get, like, you don't until you're in it and doing it and it becomes part of you. It's like, I need that. Like, I'm a better person if I've worked out or ran or rode my bike, or even just, I got to do a quick workout for 20 minutes with some bands, like just whatever. I'm like, it just makes me a better person throughout my day and everything that I do, because it works for me. And like, I really don't know anybody, even if it's a long walk while you're getting started and doing some hills, man, like whatever that helps us all.
Well, no, and it's true. And I think as loan officers, look, your day is stressful as it is, right? You're going to deal with a lot of stuff. There's going to be a lot of stress. There always is. That you're not going to deal with the same type of customer conditions, fulfillment, pricing, everything that's going to happen into our, to us in our industry. So this, to me, mental clarity is important. If you're a loan professional, mental clarity is important. Having energy is important. Having that self-reflection, so maybe you don't go off. And I think this is something that I'm going to be talking about in another episode next of something else that I'm doing next week, where it's like, look, you need to understand, like, everyone, the consumer yelling at you, which you yell at someone else, the real estate's yelling, and then you have this closer or shipper in a mortgage company that doesn't make nearly enough money as everyone else up the chain, and they're the one taking the brunt of everyone's bad mood, right? And so this gets you to think about that, and think about things that you wouldn't really think about, right? And so the fitness part of it, the clarity, the energy, all of that. And you mentioned running hills, and I'll tell you, this is the first time ever that, like, literally I'll be working and I'm like, man, because I have hills just literally, like, 3 blocks away from me, like some nice hills. I'm like, I could just break out here like for 20 minutes and go run a couple of those hills, and I'll feel pumped to do it. And I'll tell you, I've never had that in my mind, to where before I'd be like, oh, I got 20 minutes. I could go like make a hot dog real quick or something like that. So like, I'm literally pumped right now. If I wanted to just go run a hill for 15 minutes and then come back and feel, totally refreshed.
Yeah. That's awesome, man. Thanks for sharing everything that you're doing there. And thanks for inspiring me, dude. That's awesome that you started a group and you got so many people involved in it. That's killer.
Yeah, no, I love it. And I love trying to, and I told him, I said, look, I might be one of those idiot rah guys, but it's because I'm passionate about this, because of the way I feel. And I just want you guys to feel the same thing that I am.
So if you're inspired and you guys want to get into 75 Hard right now, reach out to Jason. You can definitely find him on Facebook and get plugged into that group.
Yeah.
So it's something else, and pretty much can 100% switch in 180-degree shift in gears right now.
Yep.
But something that's incredibly relevant and that we need to talk about to, help our LO community, protect our LO community. Well, man, guys, messaging now is more important than it's ever
Yep.
We were talking about it on a new thing that we're doing inside of Next Level every Friday called Lowdown, and it just whether it's talking with your client, explaining, hey, listen, dude, your refi is going to be 60 days. Like, just, if that's not going to work for you, like, go talk to somebody else, and they're going to lie to you, but it's still going to be 60 days there as well too. Or they're just not doing enough business, and I would be scared to use them. But even as it gets, and we live in a sensitive world and in an ever growing more sensitive world. And, you know, there was a message that was probably meant as a joke, but it got sent around to a bunch of people, and man, it's caused some shakeup in our industry, and it's caused some shifting inside of a company that was, you know, set in place to really help people and help loan officers. And you know, we talk about not talking about politics, you know, like I hate Republicans and Democrats equally. So like we tell you not to post on Facebook because you're going to piss off 50% of people. Like if I post on Facebook, like I'm going to piss off 90% of people because I can't stand either of them. But and I probably just made somebody mad saying that as well.
Exactly.
But, well. But it's important what you do. You got to think about what you're doing, how you're controlling the message. Like we're doing another round of realtor survival kits. And so I was talking, me and the Next Level boys, we meet every Friday morning, and I was just running something by them, and, you know, we're doing some koozies and we're putting some stuff in the kits. And I was like, hey, I think I'm going to put, you know, Corona beers inside of the survival kits along, you know, some face masks and glasses and sanitizer. And I was just like, you know, it's actually probably a terrible idea. Like that somebody is going to take that in bad taste. And, you know, if you're thinking somebody's going to take something in bad taste, man, dude, we're doing this to make money, build a brand. And like you can do one thing not intended poorly, and all of a sudden it can shift your whole life. So, you know, be careful, y'all. Make sure you don't make that mistake.
Yeah, and it's so true, because you got to know your audience, right? You may have an audience that responds to that, and you just got to know. But if you have at any inkling thinking that you don't know your audience that well, or you don't, like, oh, it's just like, you know, kind of like what Sean was saying, with a group of friends that you may be talking, messing around with, and that may be okay with them. But you got to understand from the broader perspective, you just got to be careful with your messaging, because you never know who it's going to, you know, hit the wrong way, especially now. Look, and let's just be honest, like we're in that very, you know, that era of just a lot of people take offense to stuff, right? And then I'm not, you know, casting any dispersions on whether that's you or not, but what I'm saying is that you just got to be careful. And I see some agents and I see some people that I know are just like I know an agent, a good friend of mine, who is a die-in-the-world Trump guy, right? And that's all he puts out there on social media. But I think he knows his audience. I think he knows his people. And I think he's in his men. He's like, look, where I'm at, where I live, it's going to attract the people that I want to do business with anyway. It's going to detract against the people. But I still see he does catch some flack. And that's really up to you. But to me, it's like I would be so careful, especially these days, because one text, one video that you Facebook Live where you make a joke or whatever, because, and here's the thing, like forget the whole culture of being offended or whatnot. The issue may run to, especially with coronavirus, right? And I think I ran into this a little bit myself in the beginning. Not that I was making light of it, but I was doing kind of just some memes, not what like people would think, but like memes of just saying, hey, this is how I'm going to the conference in a hazmat suit and some other stuff. Nothing about like really taking a side about any one way or another. But it got me thinking is because I saw a post from someone whose aunt had caught. Now she was already in a bad state anyway, but she caught it and she died. And so I was thinking is like, I'm guessing that anything Corona related or COVID related, even if it wasn't argumentative or even if it wasn't anything, that person probably, if not only would maybe make sad or offended, but it may make her relive kind of what just happened to her aunt, to her, like her favorite aunt. And then I was thinking, you know, from a human standpoint, you just got to be careful. And even though that I may send it and Sean may think it's hilarious, my other friends may think it's hilarious, there may be that one person that I caused some, like them just reliving, because they did lose someone to it. And so you just gotta be careful that there's going to be people out there. Like, it's a real thing, right? Regardless of which way you come down on it, it is real. People are dying from it. And so the last thing you want to do is make light or a joke of it in the right circumstances, right? And I know, Sean, with the way you said it, like, I would think, oh yeah, why not? That'd be great. But then just knowing what I've seen so far, what if one of those people happen to have someone that's sick with it right now, and they're afraid and they're scared, and maybe they turn out to be just fine, but you just don't know how that's going to hit, and then and that emotion does not go away, and so that's the issue you run into.
So what we decided to do instead of that is we're going to put some water bottles inside of those koozies, and I'm going to get some little airplane shots, and it's going to vodka or Fireball or something like that. And I'm going to be like, this may be for you, for some of the clients you're dealing with, or you may need to feed this or you may need to feed this to some of your clients. Either way, And so, again, it's alcohol, so maybe one person's going to be a bit offended, but whatever. Like, you're never going to, if you can just make a choice to not do that, and a shot of Fireball and telling them they need to feed it to a client is funny. Like, so
and that's common in the industry, right? Like, that's like, so hey, in the daily life of an agent or a loan officer, someone's going to want to take a shot of something, and so I think that's very relevant.
Awesome, man. Well, thanks again, Jason. Appreciate you. You want to send us out of here?
Yeah. And, in fact, I'm probably going to have to rely a little bit on you, my friend, actually, no, I don't, because I've got it. Remember, Next Level, guess what? Have an app, right? And if you text Next Level to 36260, all right? Did I get that right? Right on. Text Next Level to 36260, download the app, and look, since right now I know everyone's busy, but if you are thinking, if you're not doing 75, if you're doing something, if you're like, you know what, I'm going to take this time to listen to audiobooks, read books, to take a class, a course, or whatever, what better way, if you're a loan officer, than to listen to other mortgage professionals and how they've grown their business? And I'll tell you, the last dozen or so episodes, I listened to them all, but do this. Go back 12 episodes of Next Level if you haven't already, if it's your first time here, and listen to your brothers and sisters in arms talk about how they've grown their business. And not only that, but how Next Level Coaching has helped them grow their business to do something different in their market. Because I'm telling you right now, and this is something that I'm going to be speaking on next month, that I just got to drawn in, and actually need to talk to Sean about that. Not that you guys care, but this is what, if you not having an online strategy is no longer an option, right? Seeing the numbers that are happening, knowing that city governments, state governments, the federal government, everyone's going to act differently, but we're going to go through this phase for the foreseeable future, which means instead of taking the online offline, we're going to have to figure out ways to take the offline online, right? And you're going to hear how a lot of these loan officers have done that if you go back the last 12 episodes and just listen to them and see. And look, these episodes are like 25 minutes. You have 25 minutes in your day to learn something, because you never know, and you'll hear it straight from these loan officers' mouths, that, hey, had I not gone to this conference, had I not talked to Sean or KT or Shane or Kellen, if I had not talked to them, I would not be doing what I'm doing today, and I would not be enjoying the work-life balance or the success of my business that I am today. So learn from that, and get that opportunity to have the success that you want.
And if you need something, I'm on Facebook. Jason's on Facebook. Hit us up a little DM. But take care of yourself. Take care of your messaging. Peace out, y'all.
Take care.